So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So the last video got way too long, so in this video I'm going to focus on the super evolutions, in particular the 6 Uta, as well as the 6 Roger. So the unit you see here is 6 Uta, which didn't have Uta in the art before, but now it has it. So since we're going to have 3 Utas pretty soon, it's better to get used to how it looks. So yeah, the 6 Plus didn't change anything except for the art. Personally speaking, it's a big downgrade, mostly because I like my movie villain crew here and it just looks weird now. I think Uta looked fine, the 6 Plus, so it is what it is. When the JP fans rages, what can you do? But yeah, let's take a look at the 6 Uta first, I guess. And the way it will work is that you evolve the 6-star Uta, which is this one, into the 6 Plus. And you evolve the 6 Uta into the 6 Plus. And if you de-evolve 6 Uta, you return to the 6-star, from what I figured. But yeah, let's take a look. And Uta does a color change. Uta is now quick. And another big thing is that Uta is also a shooter now. And this Uta is basically the true 6 Plus to the 6-star Uta. It basically is the same kit as the 6-star, has nothing to do with the 6 Plus. But the big difference is that instead of int cerebral striker, Uta is now quick cerebral shooter. So a new color and a new class. And I just love getting shooter buffs and getting Uta for shooter. It's going to be so big. I said this in Discord earlier, but shooter is in no way the worst class anymore. That's probably fighter, but we'll see. Hard to say or rank the classes. That's probably a good video around the new year, I think. Anyway, let's take a look. Basically, Uta still does -3 CD to herself. A big thing though is that Uta is now -1 CD for the crew. That should be added to herself because it says crew and not the rest of the team. So probably -4 CD for Uta then. Boosts quick cerebral shooters by 5 times. Tandem slots are matching. Reduces paralysis special reverse by 10 turns. So exactly like the 6-star Uta. If you use Uta Special, the attack boost is buffed to 5.4 times, which is obviously a pretty good number. So yeah, Uta is basically designed to be used with the Super Tandem Shanks, and she also has some, like you can use the Shanks, Super Sugo Shanks, and Lakaru Backman Legend, and Uta pairs perfectly with both of them. Like before, you get the turn progress effect with her. So first turn you get 2.5 times attack, 2.5 times orbs, then 2.75 times attack, 2.5 times orbs, and then on the third turn you get 3 times attack and 2.75 times orb, and if special is removed it's a 2.5 times attack and orb boost. The only really change to the special here compared to the 6-star is that when you use a second Uta special, like you've already used your first Uta, now you use your second Uta, the effect you get then is that all slots including block are changed to tandem. Before it was to int, so this is a massive upgrade in that regard. The other thing is that now instead of a chain boost for 3 turns, you get a chain multiplier boost by 1.2 times for 3 turns. This is obviously because Shanks does a chain boost in his special, Beckman Lakaru does chain boundaries, so now Uta does the third stackable chain buff, which is chain multiplier, but the number is just so low. Like swaps that boost chain multiplier, for example, like V2, Viv and Rebecca, and Sanji and Judge, that's 1.25 times chain boost. So this is a very low chain multiplier boost, but it is what it is. I think it probably should have stayed as a chain boost, because like even if Shanks has it, like Shanks is not against other units using chain boost, because then Shanks gets his secondary effect where he can remove damage threshold and reduction and such. But it is what it is. It's interesting at least. Uta also got a buff to her super class, same conditions as before though, I think. I didn't double check to be honest. But the big change here is that now you get that buff for the future. So next time you get an attack and or boost, it gets buffed by plus 0.25 times. But now it also buffs existing attack and or boost by plus 0.25 times. Which is pretty funny, because now I remember, in the past, it wasn't crew-based. You needed attack and war boost, and it made it very bad synergy, because you basically had to use Uta special to get the super class, but then you couldn't buff her special, since you already had the special activated. But now they removed the condition, which made her super class not optimal. And now they give her the buff she needs, so... Basically, this Uta should, this superclass should be on 6-star Uta, and 6-star Uta superclass should be on this one, but it is what it is. Otherwise, it's the same. I'm just a bit sad that it's still super cerebral. Or wait, was it cerebral striker before? It was cerebral, right? We should probably double check. I haven't used Uta for some time, to be honest. I did double check some things before, but yeah, seems like cerebral makes sense. But yeah, I would have loved if 6++ Uta was shooter instead. That would have been really cool. Final tap is unchanged, so pretty boring, but it is what it is. PvP is pretty interesting actually. Ability is not too shabby. Attack up, HP up, and critical up to quick. And other teammates, so anything that isn't quick. But why will you use them, I feel like? I presume quick units don't get those extra buffs, but whatever. Sadly, Uta's special is horrendous, I think is the best word. Low CT at least, I guess that's something. Targets one teammate for 100% chance of haste. Targets quick type teammates for attack up level 3, speed up level 3, def up level 2. So that's pretty low buffs, but the cool thing is that they last for quite some time. So theoretically, if you can use this special over and over, you can stack quite a few buffs. So that's something, I guess. But I still feel like the numbers are pretty low. Special CT 10% reduction, so both hasting a teammate and the rest gets sped up a bit. So basically a quick variant of pudding, I guess. So maybe not the worst. I will probably try it later. But the interesting thing is that Uta is actually pretty good in the Grand Party. I don't think her leader skill is the best though, like quick, psi, cerebral, and as we all know, cerebral is not really viable in PvP. And relying on strength, dex, or quick is not the best either. But what makes her interesting is the burst. It's a new kind of burst. You can activate it every battle after 25 seconds. And you do some buffs for 5 seconds, pretty minimal, doesn't really matter, I think. You also target 2 teammates with low HP for 50% heal, and targets 2 enemies with high special CT for 50% delay. So that's pretty cool. Probably makes her, but it's definitely a top 10 Grand Party leader, but there's not many viable ones, and I don't think this is more than something fun to try out. So I will be trying her out, but probably not when it gets more difficult. Anyway, let's move on to the second Super Evolution, which is Roger. I've not used this guy for some time. It's mainly been in Grand Party. And people are hyped about him, and I'd say that this is a very solid 6+. I think this is the way you should buff 6+ units of... This is the way you should do buffs of units who are already solid when they get a Super Evolution. Anyway, still Free Spirit, Slasher, and Psy. Color change will have been cool, but it is what it is. I'm a bit sad personally that they changed the R2 and Roger faces Whitebeard, I presume, because we obviously already have a legend for that, but it's whatever. Roger still resists when enemies remove buffs once per quest. He's now 5 times attack instead of 4.5 times like before. 1.3 times HP, resist the spear completely, and if you use Roger's special, you get a 5.25 times attack instead for 3 turns. Before this was 5 times. So, a pretty good baseline buff. I don't think they should have buffed him more than this for the captain. Special got some neat buffs though. He now does 1.5 million damage to all enemies, ignoring everything, including normal attacks only. This is 500,000 more than before, and the biggest normal attack only piercing damage in the game, which is obviously super interesting. He can now do a bigger attack boost than before. He can now get up to 3.25 times, but to get that, you need to have done 10 million or more damage in a single turn throughout the quest, which is not that easy, but can happen if versus a stage 4, for example. Then for stage 5, you can use Roger to get a 3.25 times attack boost. The biggest change in the special, though, is the fact that if you already have an attack boost, you can instead use Roger to get a 2.25 times call affinity for 3 turns. That's super cool and makes Roger more versatile. I love specials that can do different specials depending on what buffs you have. So yeah, super cool. And he can still extend or boost if captain or friend captain. The biggest buff Roger got though is probably his super type. That's pretty insane actually. He now reduces CD by 1 when using his super type special. That's just insane. Reducing CD with super type or super class is one of the best things you can do with it. But apart from that, you still have the full board orb manip, including block orbs. And you also lock cruise slots for 2 turns, which might be useful sometimes to keep orbs 1 turn longer. One problem though in my experience is that usually 2 orbs doesn't give you any extra turns, but you'd rather need a 3-turn orb block. So we'll see if that actually ends up mattering. I don't actually really understand orb block mechanics past 1 turn of orb block. Support is the same. I think we forgot to check Uta special, but it's the same as 6-star Uta, except it's quick now, so very good to have. PvP, because obviously Roger is pretty good in PvP. He got a big buff to his Rumble ability. He now gives Psi-type teammates HP up level 5. I think the rest are the same, maybe a bit bigger numbers. But yeah, just adding an extra HP up level 5 to his main team is a big deal, of course. As for the special, he does 500 more damage, and I think the numbers are a bit higher, but otherwise it's the same. GP stats. Leader skills got their number buffed a small bit. And the burst now does 250 extra damage. Obviously, Roger didn't really need a buff in GP, but he got one anyway. It is what it is. He's still the best GP leader by far. So yeah, I'm sure many people will be excited by the Roger. I wouldn't go crazy over his buff though. Like, personally speaking, I mainly use him to avoid the nullification of buffs which Roger resists. But yeah, pretty good buff. Can't complain about it. And I'm pretty happy with the Uta too. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.